be jamming.
Listen live on your smartphone, in your car, at work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I'm so glad to be with you once again on your 107.1 FM dial. For those of you who are listening to us via our radio station, we certainly thank you for tuning in. Call somebody, let them know that Straight Talk is on. For those of you who are listening to us on your social media platforms at Kiss WTLZ or Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen, either on Facebook or X or Instagram or any of the other platforms that we are out there. We do have podcasts. As I'm going to ask my producer, what are those platforms for our podcast? I know that we're on Odyssey. Wherever you get your podcast, you can find us.
Yeah, I believe we are on, well, obviously the website. I want to say that we're on Facebook, like you said, Twitter, YouTube, Odyssey, and then other than that, I believe that's it.
Yeah, so we want to thank you guys for continually tuning in week after week. Let's like, tag, and share this conversation with those around you. We're going to have a real conversation once again. Every conversation that we have should be inspiring and make you feel like there is something that you need to do. So let's get this conversation on the road today. For those of you who have Valentine's or enjoyed your Valentine's, I wish you a belated happy Valentine's Day. To all of you who don't have a Valentine, then let me be your Valentine. We certainly appreciate you guys continually coming in. I really do. And I thank those of you who are continual listeners. Everywhere I go around the community or where I go, people are saying, hey, we listen in, we tune in every Sunday to Straight Talk. So I certainly thank you. For those who are out there that are celebrating birthdays in the month of February, happy birthday to you as well. All right, so today we got a lot to talk about. We'll get our rotation of guests in once again, starting up again on next week, talking about the issues that are most important to us, figuring out how are we going to mobilize today's conversation. We're going to talk about moving forward as America turns back on Black equity. That's right. You heard me. What are we going to do to continue to move forward as America turns back on Black equity? And, hey, it is February. For all of you who did not know this, February is Black History Month, even though we live our Blackness 365 days. I gave a shout out to my producer. Let's make this happen. Let's get going. For those of you who have been really just tuned in, there's a number of conversations that you'll hear picked up here again, and I hope that you guys are engaging in this conversation. If you're interested in making a phone call, if you want to give us your information, what is that number? Once again, Mr. Producer, that they can call in and give us their thoughts and opinion.
Yeah, that phone number is 989-921-7107. It is 989-921-7107.
All right, so you have that. He's going to throw that into the stream if you're interested in making a phone call. All right, so first of all, I want to talk what's on my mind is how we're starting on today. And if you're noticing, I'm in these beautiful prints. This is called the dashiki. So I'm keeping it all the way Black on today. Today at our church, we had a Black History program. And so folks came and dressed in their garb. And so I just threw on the old faithful dashiki, got the beads on, just making it, pulling something together the best way I can. Alma Ball, Collier, Linda Napier, you are the two first individuals. I see individuals in the stream, but you're the ones that I can see with names out there. Once again, that call-in number, 989-921-7107. All right, so let's get to what's on my mind. Today, what's on my mind? All right. Well, this morning, or actually yesterday, I woke to an article about the Missouri AG, the Attorney General in Missouri, suing Starbucks. Check this out, y'all. He's suing Starbucks because Starbucks, their workforce has become too female and too, quote unquote, less white. You can't make these things up. Too female and too less white. As I got into the article, it said, yes, they're suing Starbucks because their group is too female and too less white. They cited that this is a racist attempt, racial equity against racial equity in the workplace. That they were looking that the people who were in position, they were put there because it was racism, and they cited. Listen to this: for the first time, they understood what systemic racism was. That this is systemic racism, and it's interesting because I've had that conversation so many times. And so many people don't believe in systemic racism, but here, the same individuals who are similar or who said that they don't believe in systemic racism are citing systemic racism as the problem. It's in the system. And they're saying that Starbucks needs to stop right away, change their policies to make it, I guess, more white and less female. I don't know. But I'm just reporting the facts to you. I think it's very interesting. Also, a shout out there to Cherie Steele Phillips. I see you in the stream and the rest of you that are coming out here. But also, like I said, this is really what's on my mind. And we're going to get to this and we'll talk about this for a hot second. Happy Black History Month, as I said to you all, but I wanted to say that in the confines of the fact that Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are now the NFL Super Bowl champions. They topped the Chiefs in last Sunday. It's been a week. Can you believe it? We were not on live because wasn't nobody trying to hear this conversation. They wanted to watch the game and have their pregame parties. But we saw them take out the Chief handily with no issues. It was literally a blowout. And they made the game, a couple touchdowns and things of that nature at the end of the game to make it interesting. But kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. What I love about Jalen Hurts is that with his all-women team and his mother as his manager, is that he epitomizes what I would say is a strong BMW, black man working. So shout out to you. And in the heart and the spirit of Black History Month, the Super Bowl appearance that everyone has been talking about, the halftime show by none other than Kendrick Lamar. And I was just blown away by what's going on. I'm sure you have had Kendrick Lamar fever and you've talked about the conversations over 1 million times, but we haven't had the opportunity to share this conversation together. So I want to just kind of share a couple of things that I thought were very, very interesting, some things that I really hadn't heard people talking about, but things that made it exciting and interesting to me. I want y'all to know that it was so wild being able to see on our television, on the boob tube, cast 133.5 million folks, the most bliggity black Super Bowl halftime performance that you have ever seen in your life. As he said, the revolution will be televised. And I want to just say thank you, Mr. Lamar, for taking the opportunity to really not just perform. So many times they want us to perform. We've been performing, playing ham bone and everything else, as we saw, and tap dancing pancakes on stages for folks for so long, that I'm thankful that there was someone that was willing to make a statement, and that statement was loud and clear, with his partners in purpose, being Samuel Jackson and Serena Williams. I just want to say it was an amazing halftime performance. I'm not like a super fan of Kendrick Lamar. I'm not going to tell you that by any means. I have tuned in as it is a very big part of pop culture. In terms of the beef, I had an opportunity to deal with Kendrick a number of years ago during a Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl, but an NBA Celebrity All-Star game. And so I was, so I'm aware of who he is and some of the music that he's done, only because I turned the page on an opportunity to do some business with him. But anyways, as we look at this and we look at what took place, I was extremely excited. I felt proud. And it was because of the message that was sent. For those of you who are listening, I'm going to tell you that when I saw Samuel Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam, I was triggered a little bit when I saw him because it took me back to the movie Django. And in that movie, I think I had to stop watching. I think I saw the movie at the theater. And I got up and I walked out because I was so incensed by his role in Django, understanding that he was the one that wanted to push the buttons in terms of his role as the Negro houseman, house Negro, the head house Negro in charge. Yes, we sick master, you know how it used to do when they would pit us against each other. But it was a phenomenal moment in the look. And so when I saw him dressed as Uncle Sam, there was a lot of me that was just, I was like, oh man, come on, Sam, what are we doing, man? But it was interesting because I picked up the fact that he was Uncle Sam. He represented America, a Black Uncle Sam. I need you. The picture that we had seen, I had seen for so many years when they had the draft in place of the man that represented America, telling you that we needed you to stand up and come and fight on our behalf. And then he continues to do the narration and share that information. But let me tell you what's so cool about this Uncle Sam piece by Sam Jackson. What was so powerful to me as it relates to this particular this thematics is that when we look at who Sam Jackson is, many people, especially younger folks, probably don't realize it. I'm right on the cusp of one of those individuals that's able to understand that Sam Jackson is not just an actor. He's not just known for dropping the F-bomb from Pulp Fiction to Snakes on a Plane and all of the other shows that he's been in. But he is also historically, and his place in history is that he marched with Martin Luther King. And so it was very appropriate when we talk about playing America's game. And that's what Kendrick Lamar was saying. He was showing us the United States of America, and the platform that he was working on was a game controller. We all know that by now. I'm sure you've heard all of the Monday morning quarterbacks give their thoughts on his halftime performance. So the world was a game controller. And when you look at it, who better to tell us about how to play the American game, how to, understand that we can't be too loud. We can't be too strong. We can't be too Black in order to make it. We can't be, quote unquote, what they may call ghetto. Than someone who has marched with Dr. King, side by side with Dr. King. He was there carrying the funeral. He was one of the people that was, I believe, even carry the casket for Dr. Martin Luther King. But he was such an iconic part of the civil rights movement. To go from fighting for freedom and walking and marching for freedom to one of the biggest box office stars in Hollywood is a testament of how to play the game. And so I thought that was one thing that when I saw that, I said, wow, this is such a powerful moment in Black history. He said to everyone in the world, when Black history and all other programs that are racially themed were being canceled by our federal government, he stood up and say, hey, we're 365 Black. So thank you, Kendrick Lamar. Today, we're going to be talking, as I said to you, about moving forward as America turns back on Black equity. Almost a little bit of a tongue twister, but we got it out there. And then to go on through the entire thing and, hey, 40 acres and a mule, for those of you, that was the promise of Black America at the end of Reconstruction, when Black folks were then set free from plantations to then back on the same plantations with the Jim Crow laws, because it was illegal to be unemployed. So the way that they did it, so now where they had to take care of us because we were chattel or property, they now were getting free labor, and the treatment sometimes was worse because they were borrowed. They borrowed us. We were borrowed for labor from then. And it's crazy that you can borrow people. And even when the government was being built, so many times we go to DC and we see what that mall has to offer, and we're enamored by all of the buildings, that entire DC complex. When I was in Southern Maryland chasing my roots, I found out that that entire DC complex was built by slaves. But this is the crazy thing. It was built by slaves, and the government paid for their labor. But catch this, they paid the fee, or for their jobs, they paid the bill to the masters, who then in turn kept the money. So our nation's capital, that those complexes, Lincoln Memorial, the Washington, all of those monuments that we hold so dear. And this is what Kendrick Lamar was saying when he had an all-black cast. And there were so many people on Fox News the day after saying they talk about DE&I, but there was not one single white person on the stage. Well, he was sending a message that this message is not for you. It's to you. It's broadly and boldly in your face. But this is to my people, that we have to understand how to play the game, that they want to control the narrative, but we won't control the narrative, because this nation, as those black dancers were bent over, dressed as the American flag, this nation was built on our backs. And then it showed how the flag disappeared, or it broke into two. We're a nation divided. We've come so far as a nation. So many things have become better, but so many things have also worsened. Even though we have made many strides, we now see that we are in the same place and fighting for some of the same things that we fought for a long time ago. So we're a nation divided. And it was such an interesting thing. And I want to just get through all of those things. We've heard all of those things. I just want to thank Kendrick once again for taking the time out to celebrate Blackness. In a time when our Blackness is once again under attack. It's not like it's ever stopped, but there was a kumbaya moment after George Floyd, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But we are now in a place that we have to figure out what steps we're going to make. And I want to say this to our community, so please hear me loud and clear. This is like no other time in American history for the Black man, and the fact, and woman. When I say the Black man, I'm speaking the Black folks in general. There is a need for us to really deal with some issues that we have allowed to just kind of go past. And what I mean by that is that we need to be able to figure out how we're going to move forward. We got to figure out how we're going to preserve with the attack on who we are as a nation. And this is a part of the framework of our conversation. We've got to put down all of those issues that we have in our heads that don't impact us as a community. One thing that I love about the Hispanic community, one thing I love about white America, is that if it's about dollars and cents, the only thing that does not make sense is for us to fight and to destroy what we have. Too many times we've allowed petty arguments and petty disagreements to keep us from getting to the bag, but it's a time for us to be collective. It's time for us to bring in some of our brothers and sisters who are out there. And what y'all don't realize in our community is that our leadership and our financial source, I'm about to say this for real, and I need y'all to listen. Our financial sources, or our financial base that comes in our community, and our leadership base are often not the same. Let me say that to you again. Our leadership base, what we consider to be leaders, and those of us who are those that are part of the financial base of our community are often not the same. So what am I saying? So we have a lot of people who are leading that have degrees in education, but they do not have the financial wherewithal to really make change happen. We have a lot of people with great ideas and ingenuity and are willing to do the work, that don't have the finances to make that work to make place. But we have brothers and some sisters who are out there hustling. And some of our brothers have had, lived other lifestyles in other places, other forms, and they've taken that money and they're flipping that money. And you're looking at them as though they're miscreants, as Cat Williams would say, on the fringes of our community, when in fact, those are the individuals that are making financial moves in our community. They're buying businesses, they're building businesses, they're buying buildings, they're investing in stock markets, they're having conversations about how things happen. Absolutely, Hurley, TJ Coleman, you got where I'm going. They are Black financiers. And if we're going to do anything, we gotta come on, y'all. Let me just have a real conversation. If you're a Black pastor, you're not financially able to make a decision, we need you, because what you do in terms of inspiring and providing hope is very important. If you are a leader and you've got more degrees than the thermostat, we need you. We need you for excellence and understanding and providing programs and laying a pathway to success. However, until we tap into the part of our community where the individuals who have the dollars, maybe they have, they're an ex-offender, maybe they have some issues in their past, but they are now running legitimate business, they're doing investment, they have stocks, they can write a check. And if you don't ever get out of your silo, if you don't get out of the places and continually thinking that you are the one who's going to lead this nation and have conversation with these brothers and sisters who are out here making moves, and we bring the community together. See, we divide our community ourselves by those who have influence and education, by those who are the innovators and thinkers, and then those who have stained pasts, and we do not allow them into the table when it's necessary. And we can come up with great ideas and great things that we want to have done, but then we have to turn to other communities in order to finance the things that we need to do when the dollars are in our community. So we're going to have to take a real big slice and a taste of humble pie and recognize who are the people in our community. Maybe they don't fit your bill of what should be a part of the community leadership, but they are financially inept and able to move forward and to finance some of the things that we need to have done. And when we bring those who have the intelligentsia, those who are willing to do the work, and those who have finances to the table, we can then finance and empower our own dreams. And that is real economic empowerment. I know nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to say it. But that is the fact of the matter. So the fact of the matter. There we go. Fact of the matter. So if you're listening to me out there, we need to tap the shoulders of our brothers and sisters who are in the community. They're not businessmen and women. They hustlers. And right now, I'll show you that we have a whole bunch of hustlers that are running our government right now, but we need to bring those dollars in. Let's talk about how they can be an empowering force to bring change into our community so that we really can start talking about economic empowerment, because you can't speak truth to power and then go to power and ask them to fund what it is you're trying to do. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about moving forward as America turns back on Black equity. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Uh-oh, Mid-Michigan. It's official. Everyone's sick. Sick of their old ride, that is. Love Doctor of Deals. Ryan Wasik here from Belwasik GMC Buick. Your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. And if your old ride leaves you heaving, grieving, and wretchedly feeling, I got the prescription for your confliction. Right now, you can save up to $3,000 on a nicer, newer car based on the price of the car you pick. So if driving around town and your old ride makes you feel sick, ditch it like a bad cold. And let the Love Doctor of Deals help you slide into a nicer, newer car. Because this month only, you can save up to $3,000. Plus, here at Belwasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists are the medication for your situation. We work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So if you want to save up to $3,000 based on the price of the car you pick, the doctor will see you now. But hurry, this deal won't last long. I'm Ryan Wasik, and I'm your dealer for the people. See my swoon-worthy rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer ends February 28th, 2025.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text JOY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text JOY to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text JOY to 200-300. That's JOY to 200-300. JOY to 200-300.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why pay full price when you can enjoy amazing deals instead? Right now, you can score epic deals like $200 toward any product or service at Attic Experts for just $100. Or for $10, get a gift certificate to Great Beginnings Winery before they close their doors in March. And get a gift voucher from Yogurt Yeti in the Cardinal View Plaza for only $10. Better hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to see all our deals today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Hey, Mid-Michigan, love is in the air, and your friends at Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City are relationship experts. Really? No, not exactly, but we do have an offer that will steal your heart. Showcase Mitsubishi makes upgrading to a new Mitsubishi for a lot less. Super easy. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months or get up to $5,500 cash in your pocket when you buy any new Outlander. New 2025 Outlander SEL plug-in hybrid with all-wheel drive, leather, panoramic roof, and third-row seating. Just $399 per month with the Showcase Mitsubishi 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Still making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Showcase Mitsubishi wants to get you released from your loan or lease. Plus, with our credit builder program, our finance team will work hard to get you pre-approved at showcasemitsubishi.com with no effect on your credit score. At Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City, the #1 Mitsubishi dealer in Michigan for customer experience 3 years in a row.
0 APR is 1667 per thousand finance, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year lease. 1990 dealer signing plus state and dealer lease. Includes all factory rebates, 0 security deposit with approved credit on select models. Offers not combined.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Straight Talk. We're back. We're going to be talking today about moving forward as America turns back on Black equity. All right. So something else that just popped into my, I was talking with my producer and I was asking him about, what did he think of the show? And now he's a rap head. He likes music and rap music and all of that other stuff. And he was just saying, why don't you share what you said with them, Matthew?
Yeah, so I was more waiting for the diss track on Drake. So when it came to all the background stuff, all the hidden messages, I personally didn't catch any of it the first time watching it. Afterwards I saw the videos on Instagram and YouTube and people explaining things a little bit more. But my take for my first time watching it, I honestly just thought it was like every other halftime show. You have your background dancers, they're doing all their dance moves and stuff like that. The cameras fixated on Kendrick Lamar. I just thought it was like every other one. But after I went and I actually saw videos and people explained, and the stage was like a video game controller, and they were in colors of the American flag, and the different messages, and how do you say it? Like you said, they're televising the revolution or something, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But like I said, the first time I personally didn't catch any of that. I just thought it was a regular halftime show. But afterwards there was a lot of messages that were said and used.
What do you think about the messages, Matt?
I like it. I think he said a lot. We're definitely in interesting times. And that's all I can really say.
Did you learn anything?
Kinda. I will admit, when I was watching it, I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was watching it to a certain extent, but it's not like I was like, oh, what's the next song that's going to be played and what's the next dance routine and all of that. So it's like I watched it and I paid attention, but I wasn't 100% paying attention, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense, because some of us, if we don't know or tune in, they told me that Alana Ellis said or something, I don't know, Melissa, whoever, Carthage or whatever, Etheridge was going to be at halftime. It'd be on. I'd probably be making runs to the kitchen because I don't know who that is or I don't understand that music. And so it's important. And I'm going to say this before we move into our main conversation. I want to thank Matt for being honest about what it is that he had to say, because that is what most of white America was experiencing. They were experiencing, okay, is he going to play everyone in the world? You had to live under a rock if you didn't hear about this Not Like Us song. And that is why there were more people tuned in to the halftime show than there was for the game, because people wanted to know if the spirit of defiance would rise up and he would play that song. Even people who did not know the song. The song has the catchiest hook, "They're not like us, they're not like us," that you would be able to use for anything. So shattering records of Michael Jackson. And people said after the show, Super Bowl lost ratings. Well, they lost because the game was a blowout. And that's why people left. But what I want to say is simply this. There are very few times that I've experienced in my life where I, as a Black man, could enter into a space that had been typically considered a white space and fully bring authentically all of what I felt and was thinking in a moment and fully express those thoughts and ideas in those white spaces. Traditionally, when Black people create Black spaces, it is seen offensive to many non-Black individuals because, let's be honest, they're not like us. And what I mean by that is they have never had to be in a Black space. And for a moment in time, the conversation not be by them, for them, created by them for us. And so it is a very different space. So I understood the fact that many people didn't understand it. Let's be honest, half of Black people didn't understand it. And somebody asked the question, why would he so intricately hide the details of this conversation? And I thought that that was what artists do. They allow you to be able to see something in one moment, then you come back and you take another look and you're able to glance it. And on my social media page, on my personal page, there is a commentary by a white gentleman who shared the importance. You may not necessarily understand art when an artist goes forth, but that does not mean that you cannot appreciate that art. And so being able to see a conversation that was for us, by us, narrated by us, was an empowering moment for Black America. And I want to say this to my light-skinned white counterparts. When we have these conversations and when we celebrate Blackness, our Blackness does not mean that we are anti-white. And oftentimes, and even many people who have tuned into this conversation or will hear that conversation may often be take the misleading approach that when I celebrate my Blackness, when I wear my dashiki, when I talk about how important it is for Black people to have Black spaces, that it means that I am anti-white. No, what it means is that there are times in life when you cannot control the narrative. There are times in life when we have to tear our story from our perspectives with the influence and the legacy of history that we have as a people. And I think that that is very important and very powerful. So when we talk about speaking truth to power, Kendrick Lamar gave us a very strong understanding of what that looks like. Now we're transitioning. Shout out to Serena Williams. And people thought that it was about Drake, but if you remember when she won Wimbledon, there is a slight diss there as well. But when you look at when she won Wimbledon and she did the Crip Walk, this is what Samuel Jackson was talking about. Be calm, be demure, be quiet. That's how we should do it. They want us to sing and don't cause any disruption. But she took what is known as a hood dance, don't be ghetto, and she danced at Wimbledon and received such backlash by people who didn't understand where she came from, losing her sister in the street warfare. And she crip walked at Wimbledon and received a huge backlash and fines. And so now she has been given an opportunity to stand on a platform that is the biggest one in America that everyone fights to be on, to do that same celebration, but doing so as a part of a collective which represents the culture and the people and the faces and the spaces from which she's come. So that is what I think. So as we look at this moving forward, as America turns back on Black equity, I want to say some words, but all of these words really have the same meaning, or they're fighting for the same cause. Different meanings, different purposes in time, but really with the same end effect in mind is what we're talking about. So when I talk about civil rights, when I talk about affirmative action, when I talk about DEI, very different movements, very different in what they, when they were executed and why they were executed in the fashion that they were. But the end all and be all of all things was so that Black America could find equity in this country, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in the voting ballot room, whether it be, in the classroom. These were all things that were created because our nation struggles with an idea that all men were created equal. And so it's interesting when I made the story or the conversation about Starbucks and the AG from Missouri talking about systemic racism against white males, in essence. It's interesting to me that we don't see that same systemic racism taking place against Black America. And so these fights that were taken on by Black America, and I need y'all to say this, family, I need y'all to understand this. My brown people, I need you to understand this. To my LGBTQ plus family, you got to understand what I'm getting ready to say. Don't be offended, but please listen with an open ear. The struggle that Black people have had to endure, no other nationality or people group on this planet have had to experience in America the atrocities that the African-American descendant of slaves has had to experience. So when we look at things and the movements that have been created by us to delve into spaces of equity and community place setting and equality and finding our voice and being access and opportunity, we were the ones who were knocking down those doors. Now, all of these other people groups that represent this coalition of folks who stand up for equity have all come through those doors. And as the Department of Labor stated, of all of those people groups, the one that has received the greatest amount of response from the fight that has been taking place has consistently been white women, from civil rights, from affirmative action, and also from diversity, equity, and inclusion. We now see, secondly, the Hispanics, Asian Americans, veterans, and the disabled, LGBTQ plus trans community, and coming in at 6 are black men, black folks. And so when I look at that, it's important for us to understand what that says. We are such a loving people that many times we open the door to everyone to come in and to experience, because of our experiences, we don't want anyone else to be left in the cold. We don't want anyone else to feel disenfranchised. We don't want other people to experience what we've had to experience, to be able to witness the American dream, to help build the American dream for someone else, but not to be able to taste the taste of the American dream. And with that, other people have come through those same doors and have taken a greater stance and have hijacked a movement that had been started by our people. Yet we continue to move forward. So black folks, I need y'all to understand something, and I'm being very direct about this. It's time for us to begin to be a little bit selfish in how we operate. It's okay to make our community a priority. It's okay for us to look, and I think that if you understand where we are in America and we understand the things that we're confronted by as our allies, our white brothers, our brown brothers and sisters, and brothers and sisters from wherever you may come internationally. When we look at this, it's important to understand that we are not trying to isolate. We're not trying to kick you out, but we're saying that if we started the movement and we're at the bottom of that movement, there is something that each of you must understand as we build this coalition, that we have to begin to right some of these wrongs that we're experiencing in this world. Let me tell you what happened. When George Floyd came through and we saw that happen, the world had to stand still, and they had to take note of something that we had been screaming for decades, that we're treated unfairly, sometimes unjustly, by the hands of police officers and law enforcement officers and the justice system. And we were ignored because nobody could see it because we were too busy. No one could see it because they just could not fathom a time in America when we are now having so many rights, and we've had a black president, that these things would still be in existence. But George Floyd did something for us that we have to begin to really just take mind. It showed black pain. It showed the atrocities that we're experiencing that we know exist in our communities. The policing that takes sometimes often in our communities that no one know. What did you do in order for the police to respond? And I'm not anti-police. My family is our police. I got folks working in law enforcement right now, paramilitary, lifelong history. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that for the first time, you could not turn your back. You could not make something else to keep you busy, the thing. We were all captive and had to take look. So there were cries for police reform. There were cries for social justice. There are cries for equity in the process in this game called American living. And of that, companies responded in bold fashion with promises that they were going to make change happen because they saw what we had been experiencing live and in living color. Well, now with this now new administration making it okay to say, hey, we don't have to have equity. We don't have to have access for everyone. We don't need everyone. And it's pitted Americans against Americans. Poor black people against poor white folks who don't have much of a difference in terms of what this administration has to offer. It has pitted educated black women against, fighting for their space in the American dream with individuals who are less educated, but somehow think that they've taken their place in corporate America. And everyone is sitting around, those who are not of this squabble up episode, those who are not a part of this fight, the elite, the wealthy are sitting back and saying, once again, we've been able to get even the poor white people to think that they're one of us when our issues and what we plan to do will not better their lives. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We are going to address some things that we need to do coming together to make change happen. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
Uh-oh, Mid-Michigan. It's official. Everyone's sick. Sick of their old ride, that is. Love Doctor of Deals, Ryan Wasik here from Bowen GMC Buick. Your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. And if your old ride leaves you heaving, grieving, and wretchedly feeling, I got the prescription for your confliction. Right now, you can save up to $3,000 on a nicer, newer car based on the price of the car you pick. So if driving around town and your old ride makes you feel sick, ditch it like a bad cold. And let the Love Doctor of Deals help you slide into a nicer, newer car. Because this month only, you can save up to $3,000. Plus, here at Belwasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists are the medication for your situation. We work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So if you want to save up to $3,000 based on the price of the car you pick, the doctor will see you now. But hurry, this deal won't last long. I'm Ryan Wasik, and I'm your dealer for the people. See my swoon-worthy rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer ends February 28th, 2025.
The YMCA is just a starting line. It's the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs.
Join the Saginaw Y before March 15th and pay no joiner fee and get 3 free months. Stipulations apply.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere. From dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke, an asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Swing into savings with an amazing deal from Raby's Golf Central in Mount Pleasant. Get half off 1-hour TrackMan Golf Simulator play. That's right, only $13.25 for a $26.50 value. Whether you're perfecting your swing or having fun with friends, Raby's Golf Central offers the best indoor golfing experience around, and now it's more affordable than ever. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Swing over to RocketGrabPlus.com to claim yours today. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-311-9595. 800-311-9595.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
All right, we're back with Straight Talk. We're here for our closing segment on today. But I want to just, we were talking about how we were moving through these systems, DEI, and who were the proponents of those things. When we look at this election, and as I've said this a number of times before, that the election of 2024 was a mandate on lowering the cost of milk and the cost of eggs and things of that nature. And so we would think that when we get into the office, that those would be the things that we would target most. But if those of you that are out there that voted for him, if you thought that those were the things that were going to be most important and you were duped, and you didn't believe in such a thing such as Project 2025 because he disavowed it or distanced himself from it. He didn't disavow, but distanced himself. You're disappointed in this moment because there has been no legislation for the lowering of cost of goods. As a matter of fact, we were told to suck it up, take it to the chin because prices were probably going to be high and we're going to suffer for a while. But when I'm not struggling or I don't have little ones that need milk and eggs and things of that nature, it is easy for me to say that. Better said, easier said than done. But what's important is for us to take a look at something. And I need everybody, come on, let's look critically at what we're dealing with here. With everything that is going on, Marco Rubio, who had already said that Florida is where woke comes to die. So y'all keep going to Florida and spending your good earned non-Florida dollars down there for vacation. He said, Florida is where woke comes to die. He then appointed Darren Beatty, however you pronounce it, to a key post in the State Department. And Beatty posted on X October of last year that competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national ideology is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men. These are statements. You can't not make this up. And I'm not trying to just sit here and race bait. These are statements that he said within the last quarter of, 3 or 4 months ago, before being in this position. We have seen Mark Elez, a 25-year-old Doge worker who said that he was racist before racist became cool. And he has now been given access to our U.S. Treasury's most sensitive payment systems. So when we look at this, it is, also crazy. And then if we look at Elon Musk, who comes from South Africa, when we look at the atrocities that existed in South Africa, we hear the stories of apartheid. Many people, because it is such a different understanding of how we operate, if you've never been there, you never understand that there are people that still walk around with passes, Black folks, because you have passes, you have a need for passes. There's a group of people called colored peoples. That's their actual identification. And he is one of the legacy people that come from the Dutch Boers that came over, took the land, took the natural resources, took control of those natural resources, and then considered themselves citizens of South Africa because they had generations of people that were born there. America had to go through such a huge, not America, but South Africa had to go through years of continually experiencing in their own homeland what we as transplants from those great nations have had to experience. Overthrowing apartheid, but you cannot kill an idea. You cannot kill an ideology. And so that ideology is very pervasive. It's in their school systems. It's a system now of the haves and the have-nots, with many of the Dutch Boers who are yet over there. And when you talk about diamonds and women want diamonds, and when we look at those kinds of things that are happening in the continent of Africa, a pillaging of resources. Yes, the United States also has some access, but countries like Russia and China and France, who have gone over there and taken the natural resources, keeping them from their people, and then creating a system where now the people that live there are doing the same thing to their own citizens. It is no wonder that when someone like Elon Musk would come to this great state, this great country of America, standing in the Resolute office in the Oval Office behind the desk, giving national speeches, giving how Hitler salutes, and attacking those things and saying that the people who are black or who are colored, who are not white men, do not have the ability to run this nation. It is because he has a system, a pervasive way of thinking, an ideology that was put in him through the years that he was raised in that country by the people that raised him, to understand that if you're rich and you're white, then you're all right. But anything else is not willing, not good, and not sufficient. But we are not like, they are not like us. This is our nation, black, white, Puerto Rican, and Asian. We've got to be able to stand together. I'm going to be bringing in individuals over the next couple of weeks to talk about how we can coalesce, that we can build. For those who are allies, how do we come together and begin to let our voices be heard, stand in strength and in power to make sure that the tenets of this nation, which says that all men are created equal, with the ability to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, is a tenet by which we stand, not just as black people, but as Americans. I'm tying it off for today. I pray that you take care of yourselves and each other. I love you all. God bless you. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen